For many days I've been thinking about this thought that I think it's too precious to keep it for myself, and I want to share it with you. Now I'm having a nice walk at the evening, as you see, the city behind, and I'm thinking I need to share this thought. I want to ask you, what is your value? How did you get up to here? Many people would say, now you're going to talk about God's love, what is our value or God's sight, but I do not believe in God. Okay, if you do not believe in God, that's good. It's okay for you, but you still have a big value despite of whatever you may think in this moment, even if you are crossing a very low moment in your life. Think about this. We always think about the descendants of people, but have you ever thought about your ascendants? The people that has lived before you? Think about this. You are here because you are the result of the relationship, of the love of two parents, your mother and your father. You may say, yeah, but you don't know my story. I wasn't loved at home. Okay, you may be right, but think farther than that. We can keep going backwards. Each one of your parents are here or have been here because of the love of two other people. In other words, they have been here because of four people, your grandparents. So you're here thanks to your parents, whatever they have done, but also thanks to your four grandparents. And if you keep going backwards, the great-grandparents, you add 8 people. And if you go backwards, the great-great-grandparents, you add up to 16 persons, 16 stories of love, of fights, of survival, 16 people that have been living that yielded a story that goes up to you. And if you keep going backwards, you will add 16, 32, 64, 128. If you keep going backwards up to 300 years ago, just 300 years ago, you count 11 generations. That adds, at that row, at that limit, 11 generations behind, we are talking about the story of 4,096 persons who were in love, who were fighting for the life, who were doing things for living and for having a family. And making it short, I don't think that all those people were bitter, were angry, were against you. When you talk about 4,096 persons in that generation, the most of them, I'm sure, they were in love among themselves. And if you add all the generations, one upon other, we're talking about the number of 8,190, 8190. So you are the result of the efforts, the fights, the love, the survival to wars, pandemics, and many other things of 8,190 people involved in your life. You are the result of the efforts, life, fights, and everything of 8,190 persons in your life. So now, what is your value? You are the result of all those generations, of all those persons, and I have stopped at 300 years ago, 11 generations, that's it. And you may think, well, from that point of view, you're right, but this is just rhetoric. Listen, you are not here just because casualty, because of a chance, or I don't know how to call it. You are here because actually you're the result of many stories of love and fights, many stories of survival, as I said before. The Bible says that God blesses up to 1,000 generations. I have stopped at the 11th generation before you, and I have added more than 8,000 people. Think about that. If all those people were alive right now, they could look at you and say, we are proud of you, whatever you have done. We love you. We have gone through this and that and that other thing, so our offspring could live, and our offspring has yielded to you. You are precious. You are actually very precious. Either you believe in God. I'm not going to talk about how valuable you are at God's side, because you are actually, but only from the human point of view. Think about that. You're not alone. You're not just, how could you say, an accident. You're really the result of many fights, of many efforts. You are precious, and you have to think that about yourself. This is really very wonderful, a wonderful thought, an encouraging one. Think about that, and if you add to that equation God, that gets even better.